welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a review on the new Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe brushes. I'm going to be doing a full review as well as some swatches on this palette. I also picked up an extra palette, so I'm going to be doing a giveaway for you guys. I will have all of the information for the giveaway at the end of the video as well as in the description box. If you guys have not yet already subscribed to me, I would love it if you would do so. I do a lot of fun reviews here on my channel as well as a bunch of makeup tips and tricks, so if you guys would want to hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. So let's get started with the review. Okay, so I have my two palettes here. I have the one I've already opened and used, and then I have the one for the giveaway. So this is the outside packaging of the palette. So this is what it comes in, this nice white packaging. I love that they did the silver, so pretty. And then it has these pictures of Jaclyn here on the back as well as a message. So she says, creating this palette has truly been a dream come true for me. Morphe gave me full creative control and allowed me to customize my dream palette for everyone to enjoy. Every shade was customized by me, and I really hope you guys love it as much as I do. I wanted a range of neutrals and pops of color to accommodate all skin tones. I put my heart and soul into this palette, and I hope my pickiness pays off. XO Jaclyn. Now, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding this eyeshadow palette. Like, it was insane. It still is insane. The amount of criticism, really, that this palette has received. It took a long time for this palette to come out. They literally worked on it, they say, for 2 years. That's crazy for them to work on it for that long. But they just wanted to perfect it. So according to Jaclyn and according to the people at Morphe, they say that they really feel like they mastered this palette to what they wanted it to be. So, I mean, I'm okay with it taking longer. If it means that we're going to get a great palette, I'm okay with that. I mean, I know a lot of people were upset. It was like they said they were going to release information and they never did. It's like she kept doing all these sneak peeks and then we never got anything. But you know what? I love the palette, and I feel like it was worth waiting for. And so yeah, let's go into a little bit more detail about the actual palette. So this is what it comes like inside of the box. It is a white packaging, which I do like, but honestly it gets so dirty. Look at how dirty it is. I've only had this, I got it on the release date, so I've had it quite a bit of time, but it's so dirty. Like, it's already like really dirty. The back just has the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill, but I don't know. I don't really love the white, but it's so like classic and pretty, and I feel like if I just use my makeup wipe, like, it should be able to just come off, so it's not a big deal. It is a little bit softer. It's like that cardboard packaging, which is different than their standard packaging, which is the plastic. So it's a little less durable than like their normal packaging, which is a little bit of a letdown, but that's okay. Like, it's not a huge deal. I still feel like it's pretty durable, so that's okay. Now, opening up the palette. So we have on the front here, it says this palette is dedicated to all of my loving subscribers. XO Jaclyn. Again, the top. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm saying. This is the top of it. And then again, it's like a little bit dirty on the top, so meh. And then this is what the actual eyeshadow palette looks like. I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but I'm going to go ahead and do some swatches for you. But it's really, really pretty. Like, I feel like I love this little row right here. This little quad right here, actually, of all of these bright shadows. That's what I have on my eyes currently right now. And I really love that it has the warm shades so that you can create kind of like a neutral look. You can go for a pop of color. You can do those reds. It has your darker mattes down here. I really think that there's a good variety in this palette, and I think for everybody that was upset that it was so many neutrals, I feel like if you watch Jaclyn, like, you know that that's what she mostly does. Like, she rarely plays with colors. So the fact that if it was an all color palette, I feel like you guys would probably be like, oh, this isn't like Jaclyn at all, like blah blah blah, it's all colors, you know. So you kind of have to just, you know, take it for what it is. It's her palette, this is what she wanted, and I think it's incredible and I love it. So let's get into some swatches. Okay, so inside of the eyeshadow palette, it has this little sheet here, and this is going to tell you each of the colors that are on the palette and the color names. Now, there is no names in the actual palette, which I do feel like I kind of don't like, because I just feel like it's so much easier to describe, like, especially for someone that does makeup tutorials. It's so easy to just kind of say, like, oh, I'm using butter, I'm using blah blah blah, like, right away when you're doing an actual tutorial. So it's a little bit annoying that it doesn't have that in it. It's not the biggest deal to me. It does come with this card so that you can tell what shade you are using. It just kind of sucks when you lose this card, because I know I'm going to. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I already swatched the first row here on my hand, so I'm just going to go over each shade with you guys. So this first shade here, this is called In Light, and this is just a really nice matte white shade. And then for the second shade is called Beam, and I actually use this as my highlight. So you see my highlight, this is just this eyeshadow, which is really, really pretty. It's just a really nice shimmery color. And then for this next shade, this is called Silk Cream, and this is just a really nice soft transition shade. And then for our next shade, this one is called, sorry, I can't read my sheet right here. This one is called MFEO. Here, so that's just a nicer, a little bit darker of a transition shade. And then our next shade here, this is called Faint, which is a really pretty pink shade. This is a shimmer. And then for our next shade, we have another pink, and this one is called Sissy, and this is a really pretty shimmer as well. And then our last shade on this row is called Little Lady, and I kind of like this one. It's almost like a pink coral shade. So this is the whole entire first row here. I'm going to go ahead and swatch the next row for you guys. Okay, so I went ahead and I moved it to this arm. I just feel like it's easier to kind of see it on this arm here. So this is the whole second row. So I'm going to go into detail on each shade. So the first shade here is Creamsicle, which is a really mustardy matte shade. The second shade that we have is called Butter, which is like my perfect transition color. I really love this shade. The next shade that we have is called Pooter, which I love her names. You know, if you follow Jaclyn for a long time, then you know that these names are kind of her and something that's true to her. So I really enjoy the names that she has. The next shade here that we have is called Pukey. Now, she is always consistently talking about how she loves those pukey shades, that baby poop, like that kind of shade. So this is her shade here. And then the next one that we have is called Hunts, which is a really pretty, it's almost a red, like an orangey red shade. The next one that we have is called Firework, which is a really, really pretty shimmery red shade. It's not picking up that well on camera, but it's so pretty. And then the last shade here we have is Queen, which is a really pretty gold, bronzy shimmer shade. Okay, so this is gonna be the third row here. So the first shade is called Obsessed, which is a really pretty champagne-y shimmer shade. The next shade that we have is called SBN, and this is a nice shimmer as well. It's more of a bit of a darker champagne shade. Then we have, for the third one, this is called Hillster, which is her name for her subscribers. So this one is a really nice kind of, I guess it's like a burnt red. And then for the next shade, we have Roxanne, which is a really nice matte reddish tone shade. And then for our next shade, we have Jax, which is another red shade. And then for our next one, we have Buns, which is kind of a darker, I guess I would say that's more of a reddish shade too. And then the last shade that we have is called Crayon Apple, which is a really deep red shade. Now for me, I don't use a ton of red shades, so the fact that this palette has so many reds, I'm not crazy about it. The reds in this palette, at least, I guess. But it's okay. Like, I'm not going to use them probably that often. I might use them a few times. But for me, I'm more of a neutrals and a color girl, so the reds to me aren't that exciting. But I might use them. I'm not opposed to using them. They look like they're really pigmented, and they'll be really nice. So this next row here is by far my favorite row in the palette, as you can tell from my eyes. So for this first shade, we have Royalty, which is a really, really pretty purple, which it's really hard to get purple shades this pigmented, so I am obsessed with this shade. And then the second shade here is called Twerk, which is almost like a blue purple, which is really pretty. And then for the third shade, we have Hustle, which is a cool toned shimmer shade. And then for the next shade we have Meeks, which is like a nice bronzy brown shade. And then the next one we have 24/7, which is a nice brown shimmer. And then the next one we have a matte shade. This is called Chip. And then the last one we have another matte, and this one's called Mocha. So here is the row here, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the last row. Okay, and then here, guys, we have the very last row right here. So for the first shade, this one is Pool Party. This is another one of my favorite shades. Look at how blue that shade is. It's like really, really, it reminds me of like a mermaid. So for the second shade, this one is called Jada, which is a really nice, pretty, greenish blue shade. This is the one I have on my eye here. And then for our next shade, we have Diva, which is a nice green shade. And then our next one here, we have Enchanted. And then these three, I feel like didn't swatch as well as the rest of the shades, but they are just mattes. So we have Central Park, Soda Pop, and Abby's, which is a black. I did feel like those ones were a little patchy when I swatched them, so I'm not sure how they're going to apply on the eyes. Okay, so that is swatches of the entire palette. There is 35 shades total, ranging from mattes to shimmers. Now the palette retails for $38. She always has a discount code as well as a bunch of other influencers have one as well with Morphe. So if you use their code, which is 10%, it'll make the palette $34.20, which is a little bit more pricey than their other palettes, which I believe retail for about $22. So this palette is a little bit more pricey than the rest of their palettes, but it's a whole new formula. The eyeshadows are, there's more pans of eyeshadows in here too, so you're getting 35 shades. And I just feel like I would definitely recommend picking this palette up. I know it's sold out right now, but when it comes back in stock, jump on it, because I've used this palette since I got it, probably I would say like at least 10 times, which for me, for a palette, for someone that has a ton of palettes, that's a lot. Like, I've used this palette nonstop, and I definitely feel like it's definitely worth it. I love Morphe brushes eyeshadows, and I feel like they're really just stepping it up, and I feel like I'm really proud of Jaclyn. I've been a huge supporter of hers for a long time now, and I'm happy that this finally came out. I'm so happy for the success that this palette has brought her and brought to Morphe. So I would say pick this up. Now, as far as my giveaway goes, as I mentioned in the beginning, I bought an extra palette, which I know this is sold out. So if you guys want to win this eyeshadow palette, I am going to ship it to the winner. This giveaway is going to be international, which my last one wasn't, so I am going to make this one international, so everyone can have a chance to win this eyeshadow palette, which I know is hard to get in other countries as well. So I'm going to make this international so somebody can win this palette. So basically all you have to do is, I want you to thumbs up this video, and then I want you to leave a comment down in the comment section down below what your favorite shade was from this palette. Now, if you can't remember the names, that's quite alright. Just say, hey, I really like that blue shade, or that brown shade was my favorite. Whatever shade from this palette was your favorite shade, leave that in the comments down below. That will be your entry, as well as you have to fill out the form that I have listed in the description box. It's just going to be through Gleam, which is just a service that you can use to do giveaways through. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll leave that in the description box. So you just have to comment on this video, thumbs it up, and then fill out the rules in the Gleam document. So basically that just means that you have to subscribe to my channel, and there's a few other ways you can get extra entries through that giveaway entry as well. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this video. I can't wait to see who wins this palette. It will be open for a month long, so you have a month to enter. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next one. Bye everybody.